So today I want to talk to you about what happens when you leave abuse and then you get thrown back into it and you have that crazy physical response. This has come up with some of my coaching clients recently where they've been in some tremendous form of emotional, verbal, psychological abuse, and then they got the courage to leave. And when they were leaving, they felt this incredible, just this burden rolling off of them. They felt like getting up in the morning. They felt like they had a desire to move and go and do things during the day, and so much more relaxed. And then after an extended period of time of being able to feel that way, suddenly they went back. Either the person who they were living with in an abusive environment came home after being gone for a while, or their trip was done and they had to come back, or they had been out of contact for a while, and then for some reason they had to go back into contact with that person. And then all of a sudden they experienced this visceral, deep, profound physical response, palpitations, hands shaking, intense anxiety, stomach flooding with acid and adrenaline, maybe some IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, the stuff we don't want to talk about to anybody, lack of sleep, shortness of breath, loss of appetite, and in that period of time, they realized, wow, like, what happened to me? I used to be able to handle this, and now it has this profound effect on me. So here's what's happening with that. When we live in an abusive environment for an extended period of time, it becomes our normal. It becomes the thing we just live with. It's where we don't actually understand what it's like to breathe non-toxic, non-poisonous fresh air. So as our functions continually, gradually diminish, we don't notice and we become numb. We just accept it as normal. That's one of the reasons why it's so challenging when you're living in a toxic environment, in a toxic relationship or an abusive marriage. It's so challenging to actually recognize that it is abuse, especially if there isn't an explosive physical incident, because you've been conditioned to see it as normal. And when you're conditioned to see it as normal, it's hard to separate out the things that are good or just not so bad from the things that are really, really bad, because that's your norm. It is your circumstance that you are accustomed to and conditioned to accept. However, after living in freedom, after living in an atmosphere of openness where you can relax and your body starts to lose its tension and you're just breathing deeper and you're standing taller and you're sleeping better, then being thrown back into that, it's jarring. It can be shattering, because all of a sudden, instead of that slow frog cooking in the pot kind of thing where it's this warm, like this slow movement from warm to boil, all of a sudden you're going from breathing fresh air thrown into a cloud of poison. All that gaslighting, yeah, you're breathing that. And it definitely affects your mental, physical, and emotional, and your nervous system. So I remember one time I found out someone that my abuser had moved back into the state. I had to take off work. I had no contact for months and months and months. I thought I was doing very well, and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking. I felt like throwing up. I had a whole body PTSD reaction to that particular set of news. I know of people who have been away from their abuser for a while, or things have been neutral for a while and it's been they've been living in freedom, and then something happens, their abuser blows up, and while that used to may have happened multiple times a week or even every day, all of a sudden they can't take it anymore and they feel tense and tight and nervous and they just can't handle it. So if this is happening to you, it's normal. What it is your body telling you that what you used to be accustomed to that was killing you slowly from the inside out, you now recognize how damaging it is to your wholeness, to your wellness, to your entire existence. And your body is telling you, you can't take this. You can't handle it. It's not healthy. Listen to your body. Listen to your traumatic responses. Listen when your body starts telling you what your mind doesn't even want to accept, and stop making excuses for it.